Welcome to another weekly featured business brought to you by Visibility Impact and your host, James Moffat, where he will gracefully take our featured guest on a personal and business journey and stories that will inspire, educate, and engage you.
Hello, and welcome to another Friday Featured Business brought to you by Visibility Impact and your host, myself, James Moffat. Today, we have our 133rd guest. All right, numbers actually mean a lot to me, so maybe it means something to our guest. So today we have Yen Min Anderson, and I'm going to let her just introduce herself, make sure I've got the name right because my name pronunciation is always terrible. So Yen Min, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, James. I'm Yen Min, and I am currently living in England. I have a business, 𝗙𝗙𝗘𝗏𝗙𝗧 Ltd. I also work as an interpreter, a senior examiner, and a sales associate. So lovely to meet Pete and also have the opportunity to speak today.
Excellent. So you've jumped straight in, actually started telling a lot about yourself already. So we will take you on a journey down memory lane. So from your childhood, touching on any memorable experiences that you wish to share, and up to a point of where you are now, what you're doing, and how is that actually going, so we can maybe offer any assistance or guidance, or you can offer us any. So let's just take you back on a trip. So you mentioned that you live in the UK right now, but
Yes.
Originally, let's go kind of back to the beginning. So where are you originally from? And tell us a little bit about your childhood, and have you got any siblings?
Yes. So I was born in Taiwan. I have a younger brother who is 3 years younger than me. He's currently living in Taiwan. I have lots of fond childhood memories, and very fortunate, got lots of support from my family members. So I have lived in a small town in central Taiwan, and my parents were deputy head teacher and primary school teacher. So it's a blessing in a way, because they had different activities for my younger brother and me to experience every single week. I don't know, should I say a bit more, or you want to ask more questions, Jen?
Yeah, I can steer it, so don't worry. So you don't feel that you're in the spotlight, that you have to keep going and going. I mean, when you feel like you've said enough, then just pass back.
I can say a lot. I like to talk, but just I don't know what kind of interaction, kind of,
just feel
James
comfortable.
is really good at just teasing things out. So if you're at a pause point, let him tease the rest. He's good at it.
Yeah, I bet. So I can say more, or you can ask me questions, then I can.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So just for the audience at home and anyone that's going to be watching this, the recording. So, I mean, typically we send out a questionnaire first, so there aren't any surprises or touching on anything that maybe we shouldn't go there. So, I mean, you said you're pretty open book, and because I've read the answers and some of them I had to confirm with you if you wish to share, because there is quite an emotional journey. So in saying that, I mean, you have a lot of kind of aha moments and turning points in your life, and some shocks and challenges. So yeah, this is really up to you if you're feeling comfortable that you wish to share. But I'm maybe pressing you on a bit at the moment, because you mentioned your childhood and also your parents being teachers. And we'll come on to that in a minute about that is something that you wanted to be as a child, to be a teacher, and you're actually fulfilling that as a teacher. But we'll touch on that in a minute. So
yeah,
tell us a bit more about you and your brother growing up as kids, and there's some events that happened in your life that kind of changed the path that you went on.
Yeah. Sorry, James, would you like me to take that that questionnaire out, or I can say whatever I
No. I mean, it's just a guidance for me, really, to help steer it. I mean, you know the answers to that.
Yeah, I do.
I'm just gonna pry these out of you if you wished to go there.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so my childhood. So I live with my parents, my grandma, who actually was sold to my granddad at age 4. She had 7 sisters, so my grandma's parents didn't have enough money to raise so many kids. So she was sold to my granddad as a servant girl, and then later on that she married my granddad. And then my parents were also from very poor families. My grandparents are fishermen, farmers, and also my granddad on my mother's side worked in the railway station as a manager, but still very difficult at time. So my parents, they didn't go to university because they had to go to teachers' university in order to get the government funds to raise the family. So so they look after my little aunt and uncle when they were 12 and 13. So my little aunt and uncle lived with them and my younger brother and me. And then later on, they became teachers and assistant head teacher. So that is the kind of extended family living together. And I think I was fortunate when the tragedy happened. My parents passed away in the car accident. They went out for a walk, and then a drunk driver to kill and run. So then my grandma took over the responsibility of parenting, as well as my aunt and uncle, and other aunts and uncle help as well. But these 2 aunt and uncles, because they already became teachers, so they help. And so I think that is the blessing that I received at the time, and also teachers at school really help a lot. And my brother, he's very different from me. I'm very outgoing. I'm an extrovert. I like to talk a lot, and he's complete opposite. But we did have a good time together. And when we were little, of course, we had fights as well. Some siblings do have fights, and some people probably get along really well. So we got a kind of mixture. But I really find the childhood memories laid very good foundation for me to go through various hardships in life in the UK and in Taiwan as well. Put it that way.
Right. I'm actually kind of gobsmacked and quite touched by your story in the way, all right, I knew some of that, but I didn't know all of that. And what you said then, there's just a couple of things I kind of want to pick up on. I mean, first of all, a tragedy like that, losing both your parents in you said a hit and run accident in the car?
Yeah, they went out for a walk at night, and then a drunk driver just hit and run. And then we had a witness who saw the incident. And then the next day, the driver was captured and put in custody. At that time, the regulations about drink driving in Taiwan was not well established. So the driver actually knew he hit somebody and he reversed and make sure my mom was dead. So that's what the witness said. And then he also admitted in court. I didn't go to court, but my family were there. So I think the first hardship I came across in my life is my parents' death, and then followed by the classmate who made a comment when I came back to school after the funeral. My mom was working in the same school. She was a year 4 teacher, and then I was in year 4 as well. But my mom didn't teach me. But my classmate, I remember still, now I am 41 years old, and at the time I was 9. So you see, 32 years later, I still remember what this person said to me. So the classmate said to me, he just laughed at me, just say, you don't have parents now. Your parents are both dead. And I didn't cry at the spot. I just said to him, remember, your parents will die one day. And then he burst into tears. So I think the tragedy made me grow up all of a sudden on that day of losing my parents. My dad didn't pass away on the same day. He passed away 7 days later in ICU, but it doesn't really matter. They both passed away. I still remember someone from orphanage came to see my grandma, and I was there as well. Then the person asked whether she could take both of us away, and my grandma just say, no, I will look after Yan-Min and her younger brother. So I remember very clearly, and I also remember that I went to the hospital, and then I saw my mom's body briefly. And then also the funeral is another dramatic event, because in Taiwan, if the family is like Taoism, right, then they will have certain way to do the funeral, and they will expect the children to follow certain ritual. For example, we were expected to crawl on the ground, not floor, ground, but quite rough, and cry and say how much we miss our deceased parents. I was quite stubborn. I am still quite stubborn. So I refused. I said, no, this is not how I express my sorrow, right? Or my grief. Okay, you can crawl as much as you want, but you're not going to force me, pin me down on the floor or ground, ask me to cry loudly and crawl, because this is the way you want me to be. So I think that says something about my personality, is that if I think this is not right, I will not do it. Put it this way.
Yeah, Yang-Min, you're an extremely brave person. I mean, I think we should move on from this, because it's quite
heavy. Let's move on to light.
No, I mean, the fact that you've got a smile on your face now, I mean, it is remarkable for what happened, because I'm just trying to picture that if this was to happen like in my family, I'd be devastated. I'm not saying that you weren't, but I mean, trying to get you to do things that just didn't feel right either. But anyway, let's kind of move on from that. So thank you very much for sharing. And Pete, did you have something to say?
I'll just kind of echo a little bit about what you said, which is I don't understand why people have these traditions that have nothing to do with the emotions of the person affected. And so, I mean, I commend you for being strong enough to say you weren't going to do those, outlandish things when you were in your own mourning state. So, we learn so much from each other in our different cultures, and so thank you for sharing that. I would have never known that that's what it happens in Taiwan when you have a loss of a family member.
It depends on which religion.
Okay.
So there are some interesting ones. So, for example, there will be some children who actually they may not feel that sad. I don't know. I can't really speak for people, but they would hire a professional choir for their parents. You know, like a professional choir, they will wear the white outfit and then crawl on the floor, ground, crying loudly, and having a microphone and say, "I'm so sorry, for whatever." This is so wrong in so many aspects.
Yeah, it's just disingenuous, right? It's not real.
No, and they even have got some people who dress very, very little, like young ladies, and then do some kind of pop dance at the funeral.
Well, I always commend the Irish for having these amazing wakes where they honor the lives of the people that pass, and so they celebrate. And I like that idea. I mean, clearly we all need to mourn and take as long as we need to mourn, but the idea of honoring somebody and celebrating. I mean, when I pass, I really hope it'll be a joyous occasion, not so somber, and people can think about maybe the times that were fun with me and enjoy each other's company, and so that's something that in the right setting can be fine, but not when you're making a mockery of it. So this idea of pop dancers, they just seem so. Again, I go back to this idea of what's genuine, what's authentic, and if it's that, then for sure, I think that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Pete. I feel that is not quite genuine. It's purely entertainment, but then that kind of entertainment may not be presented in the right occasion, put it that way. That's how I feel. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you want to celebrate the life of the person and the memorabilia that it brings and all the good times that you had together. And yeah, as Pete said, there is a time for mourning as well.
Yeah.
So, but there is a balance between like making as an event and a party or an exhibition or a theatrical show rather than the essence of what you're supposed to be there for. So I would have done the same as you. I would have refused to do that. But anyway, let's kind of move on. So let's hopefully touch on some better times. Right? So, I mean, we could talk about this for a while, and also the traditions. Are they still like that in Taiwan, or was that kind of an old tradition?
no, it's in some families still do this.
All right. Okay. All right. Okay. Made in Taiwan.
Yes, I think that's there are some changes. I think the younger generation, or my generation, they would probably unlikely to do this, but we still have the generation that still believe that is the way of showing grief or put on a show, do not lose face, that kind of mentality, which I find it pretty superficial. But some people just think this is how we have been doing things for a long time, and we continue to do it.
Okay, so let's touch on some fun times you actually had with your parents. You mentioned one of the stories that you went somewhere in the car with your father, you and your brother, and he forgot his wallet.
Yeah.
Right. This is a fun story, so maybe this is something fun to close off that chapter with. Yeah. So what happened? You decided that you want to teach yourself to drive.
So that's when I was 8, and it's a Sunday afternoon. My parents usually either took us for hiking in mountains or visit museums or theme park or somewhere outdoor, or we would have the whole afternoon sitting in the library reading books. So that is the afternoon that we were going to a local library, and then my dad was about to drive, and he realized he didn't have his wallet with him. So he went into the house to get his wallet. And I had been observing him driving. So I decided to crawl over, and then I drove his car away.
But you knew how to drive? Or just from observation?
For observation.
Right. But with intention of like, if I observe enough, that I will learn how to drive and then have a go when there's no one looking.
That was my intention at the time.
Right. So you drove it away. I mean,
not too far. Okay. I drove maybe about 100, 200 meters.
All right. Okay.
And then I stopped. I didn't crash into neighbor's house. Otherwise,
so,
probably hate me a lot.
All right. So your observation was pretty good. So you could drive the car and stop it.
Yeah, I did.
Right. So how did he feel that when he came out and the car was gone?
Yeah, I bet my dad was traumatized and then also completely shocked as the car and the daughter disappeared, just in a blink of eye. And then, of course, he ran out and tried to find me, and then I stopped. And then, yeah, of course, I got told off. Yeah, but I think that's a lesson learned, that I will never let my child in a car with a running car, and then so she will not drive.
Yeah.
Okay. So something crazy that I did when I was younger, then I know that I may have passed the crazy gene to my own child. So yeah, but it's fine. It is something that, I think when I share this with my students, they will all find this quite funny. And I just said, don't try, please.
Exactly. So that's kind of move forward, but there are some hobbies and things that you grew up with as well, and also you're musical.
Yeah.
Right. So I ask, actually, in the questionnaire, I ask if anyone plays any instruments or sings, if they'd like to sing or play on the show. And you said yes.
Yeah.
All right. So are you going to play something for us or sing, or what is it? And would you like to do that?
I can play the piano.
Okay.
I can sing as well, but I think play piano is fine. I haven't practiced yesterday or the past 2 days, but it's fine. I'll just play whatever, something simple. I mean, I can. So I started learning piano at age 4. Start with group lesson in Yamaha classroom in central Taiwan, and then about age 6 or 7, I don't remember, I started having one-to-one lesson with a teacher that my mom found. So my mom could play the piano as well, because all primary school teachers in Taiwan need to learn how to play the piano, because if they teach year 1, year 2, they need to teach music. So anyway, so I started learning piano since age 4, and then up till age 11. And then once I started secondary school, we just focused on the academic side. But I was in school choir as well from year 3 or 4. And then I didn't do any grades. But I think at the time they were planning to enter me for grade 6. But my parents' tragedy happened, so it didn't happen. But it's quite fun, because when I was in year 6, the music teacher asked me to be in the school choir and play the piano. So basically, I'm playing the role of teacher, to play the accompaniments, and then the whole choir sing, and then went to the regional competition. It's quite an experience, because it gave me the opportunity to be a bit more creative, put in that way. And then I also found it's quite soothing, because of the tragedy. You see, my mom used to sit with me for 1 hour every single day, listening to me practice the piano. And she was quite strict, but she wouldn't shout. She's just wanted me to, practice. And and then I think that kind of gave me the foundation of the basics. And then also later on, when they were not around, I felt that when I was playing the piano, it gave me the healing power, put it this way, because then I can just go to the music shop and then pick some pieces and then just play. Or if I listen to a pop song, Chinese pop song, then or some kind of other songs or English pop songs, then I could just, okay, I'm gonna try and play this on the piano as well. So it's quite fun in a way, and then it kind of build the link or connection with the memories of my parents. And then I played the piano for my little uncle's wedding. So I played the wedding march. I remember year 5, and then we didn't go to the church. We are not Christian, but I just played at my uncle's house while he was going in to do all this traditional serving tea, it's quite fond memory. So I found singing and playing the piano are both quite rewarding and comforting for me.
Therapeutic. Right. Okay. So without further ado, you have the piano there?
I do. I can. So should I move our laptop and then see how?
Get yourself ready. I will just I'll talk to Pete while you get ready.
And while I find it, sorry.
Actually, my eldest son, he's 10. He plays the piano, and I keep saying to him, "You need to play more." And he says, "Well, he's doing his 10 minutes a day." Right, because the teacher says you've got to do at least 10 minutes a day. So he does his 10 minutes and that's it.
Right. Okay.
Right? So I think you need to give him some encouragement, because an hour a day is probably what he really needs. So anyway, so you sing and you play lots of different types of music.
I played whatever I like. So
you write your own music and sing your own songs?
I didn't write my own music. I can just improvise on the piano, and then my daughter also liked to be quite creative, so she would turn some of the lyrics of some songs into her own lyrics.
Okay. So she plays the piano as well?
Yeah.
So how old is your daughter?
She's 9, and she just did her grade 1 exam. We will know the results very soon.
Okay.
And it's not the point. I say to her is whether you really enjoy playing it, because I have never done any exams, but I still enjoy playing it. And so I think that's important to enjoy playing whatever musical instrument, rather than let's do a lot and then in the end just really hate it.
Is this going to be something that we know?
Yes, I think you will know.
Right. Because I just want to tell you, Pete knows everything there is to know about music and movies, right? Because we've had these quiz competitions on the show, and he wins every time.
Right. This piece is very simple, because it's a simple version of you can see here. Can you see here?
Showstoppers.
Yeah. Okay. So they are not very difficult. Probably they are not very difficult ones. But I think if you have any of experience of watching film, The Lion King, or from the Phantom of the Opera, then
I love the Phantom.
Sir?
I said I love the Phantom of the Opera. I've seen it probably 4 times.
Yeah,
on Broadway and in England.
You've got the right audience with Pete.
Great. Okay, so I watched Phantom of the Opera twice. So both in the UK, but different times. So I also really love that as well. So I will try it. I may make some mistakes because I've been practiced for a while, but
we're gonna enjoy it, I'm sure. So thank you.
It's very simple, but there we go. I'll just so should I start? Or
Yeah.
okay, yeah. So it's from the Phantom Opera. All I ask of you.
He can sing along with you.
I know. I won't be doing that. Maybe to myself.
Okay, okay. I'm gonna start, and then if you want to sing, by all means, no problem. Okay, I'll try.
Well, I think we've lost the sound. What, 1 second?
Huh?
Yeah, I don't know if that
We're
was just
having
me.
trouble hearing the piano for
Did
some
you hear?
reason.
No.
Oh, how come?
Right, try just play a few notes just to see.
Right.
Right, now we do.
Yeah.
Really?
Maybe.
Okay. Let me move a chair.
Yeah,
And-
I'll move closer.
Right. Let me move the chair.
I'll move closer.
Yeah.
I'll lean in.
Yeah, exactly.
So require some props, like moving the, because I used to put like my mobile phone and then just record it by then. But then
Oh, yeah, you have a nice piano.
there's the electronic one. But can you hear better?
No. Do that again.
Let me turn on the volume.
No, nothing.
Right. Sorry. Let's try
That's
it again.
so strange.
Can you hear?
No. Well,
How come there's no sound?
yeah, now.
There.
Like this. Right. Try again. Oh, gosh. My
That's
phone.
so strange.
Can you hear?
No.
Right. Let me try. Oh no.
What about the laptop on top of the piano? Would that work?
It's on the top of the piano now.
All right.
Can you hear?
Do it again. No.
I wonder if it's like some kind of electronic kind
You've
of
maybe got noise suppression.
cancellation.
Yeah.
But can you hear like this now?
I can hear you, but
You can't hear the hear the music at all. This is so strange because this is right. Try again and then
no, nothing.
It's canceling it for whatever reason.
right. Let
Oh,
me
there. I heard
heard that.
here.
Yes. Don't move.
Yeah.
Right. Can I? Right.
I'll hold the laptop.
You hold the left.
I'll hold the piano.
Yeah.
Right. If I do this, can you tell me whether I can hear it?
No.
Gosh. Right. I'll need to do this. See whether you can hear it.
Did they do it again? No.
This is so weird. Like
No.
Here.
No.
nothing.
No.
Right. Okay. James, how am I gonna do this? This is
This is weird because Emily didn't have that problem, did she?
No, must be some
Yeah,
setting
there.
on your.
Do it again. Yes.
Yeah.
Don't move.
but then I'm using my hand to hold this. So I'll see whether if I put this, oh look, this is quite peculiar. It's gonna be, this is weird. Right.
It is weird.
Okay, right. If I put it here.
Yes.
Okay, I actually put it on the computer, on the piano. Right. Okay.
Right.
So
I can't play those notes because the laptop's on.
right, can you hear now? Can you hear?
No.
Still not.
Yes.
This is very weird. It seems to be. And
Yes.
right. I'll try again.
All
See
right,
what
go
you hear. Can you hear?
Yes.
Okay, good. I put it on my left. Okay, so
Right, go on.
right. Let's wish this will work.
Can we clap yet?
No, I haven't played.
Do
Can you hear? Can you hear?
it again? Yes.
Okay, good. I'm gonna start now before the laptop
Okay.
going crazy. Okay, I'll try. Just play part of it.
All right.
Just in case. Right.
I can hear it, sort of. That's a shame. I love that song.
It's coming and going.
Is it? Oh,
It's coming
I'm
in.
so sorry.
I think
Okay,
this-
maybe
this
we
is-
should skip this bit because
Yeah.
You
What
gave it a
about-
good try.
What about if you just sing?
Sing what?
Whatever you want.
Sing the song, All I Ask of You.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, your voice and the sound for your voice is perfect.
let me turn on my Wi-Fi. I got the Apple Music, and I will.
Sing
I love
along.
how industrious you are, Yen. You're like, I'm not going to let this thing take over. I'm going to win. You're
Yeah,
very resilient.
Yeah, that is remarkable, though, isn't it? Because Emily didn't have that problem. She would set up a laptop. What if the laptop was further away?
I don't know what happened, but I will. I'm gonna choose a song that I quite well. I love those songs, but I will choose. The song is called.
You have to be quick because Pete has to go. And
Yes, yeah. I will be very.
Pete
quick.
has to hang on for this song.
You have 9 minutes.
Yes, yeah.
No
Okay.
pressure.
No. I'm gonna find the song now. It's called "Love" from Imagine Dragons. Can you hear?
Yeah.
I don't hear the iPhone yet.
No, I can't hear that.
Can you? Can you hear?
Yeah, yes.
Okay. Okay. Everything on the news be talking. All about the problems, shocking. We put on the headphones, working. We put on the headphones. Where do we all go wrong? Love. Where did we all go wrong? Always speak faces, color. All the other races, other. Why couldn't you be my brother? We don't have to kill one another all around the world. We are one. All around the world. We are one. So where we all go wrong? All right, I'll stop here.
All right. Bravo.
Okay. All right. So I love the song. So thank you very much.
Okay. I mean, do you have a YouTube channel?
I think I had one, but that's like long time ago for the purpose of like putting the wedding video on.
Right. Maybe you could
Nice.
do a recording and we'll share it.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. No problem. Okay.
Okay. So
Perfect.
right. So Pete, did you know the song?
I've heard it, but I didn't know it as well as the other song from Phantom.
Yeah. Right. Pete, since you have to go shortly, have you got any questions that you want to ask?
Well, I mean, there's such a big gap between what I've learned about you so far and kind of where you are today. I don't want to minimize anything, but can you maybe share, Yenmin, maybe a couple of the big inflection points between, say, when you were 9 and where you are today? Clearly you got to the UK. You talked about divorce, so you've been married, I'm assuming, and you have a daughter. Can you just share a little bit about what happened over the last 30 years?
Yeah. So I can say the key reflection points. I think. Okay. Let's put 2 for now. I mean, there are probably more, but anyway. So first, I think. Self-care is really important, and also react after having some time to think. And I feel that last year the incident happened at home. So basically, my daughter had a very serious injury. And it's not. It ended up like needed to be in hospital for 4 days and a big operation, and I feel that is the time that I feel that okay, I had to protect her, but then in the meantime I also need to let the medical staff know as a parent, really want her to be well. So I think the first reflection is like I need to be calm in the very difficult situation, because if I lose it, then whoever needs my care will not really receive it. Secondly, because I had a depression, anxiety for 5 months last year. It was really unexpected. I had been really like this, since I was little. And I found that seeking perfection has had an impact on me. I realized that I was busy a lot of time, or all the time. And then I wanted to see the best result for my student who entered the GCSE exam. It was my first cohort actually set the exam hall. I was so worried that they could not do as well as I thought they would be. And previous year groups, they done the teacher assessed grade, so because of COVID. So, and then also the big event that was running for school, I was worried that it will not go as smoothly or well. So, yeah, I think that's a step back for me to see what I have achieved, and then I need to be more chill, and then also put myself first, because I think sometimes I put others first, then ignore my own needs, then it became a not very good cycle, because then I feel quite drained, and that means that the energy level will be low, then the productivity will not be as expected. So and then I think the other reflection is that how to communicate with people. I believe I am quite good at communication. However, when we come across difficult times or some issues with people we love, sometimes it's easy to be more, direct, or even harsh in a way. I don't know, but I feel that maybe because of this and kind of triggered the emotions of the other person, and then that led to the decision of, okay, maybe this person is not somebody that I want to be together for a long time. I don't know whether that is the main reason, because I never have that conversation. But I'm just saying that I have very pure intention and good intention, and then I'm honest. I wouldn't pretend that I am the other person. I would just say what I believe, and then I think there are times that things could have been said in a different way, different tone, and that will have different result or impact. So I think these two are the main things that I can think of. I mean, there are other more, but then because I think the key points, up till now, Pete, as you said, you're gonna go soon. So, but these two are the main points that I would like to raise. Yeah.
Wow. Thank you. Sound like you really are reflective. You want to grow. You have this deep, earnest desire to be your best version of yourself. And I'm sure you're an amazing mom and an amazing teacher. And but yeah, self-care. I'll just finish with this thought. I used to fly in the U.S. Navy, and we always talked about, you can't take care of the crew unless you take care of yourself, right? If the oxygen is low, you have to put your mask on first before anyone else can put a mask on. So you can help anyone else put a mask on. So yeah, it starts with you. It starts with taking care of ourselves. So thank you for sharing. I'm going to say goodbye for now, but I look forward to hearing the rest of the recording. And if like I said, if I can help in any way, I would love to. Really enjoy getting to know you.
Thank you very much, Pete.
Okay.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend, guys. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Pete. Right. And then there was the two of us.
Yes, yes.
Right. Okay. So Peter's a great guy. As I said before, he was on the show, yeah, right in the early days, 2-3 years ago or something, and then more recently with the journey that he went on as a mission, sharing another story. So yeah, it's good that you two are connecting, and yeah, and others that will watch the recording, then feel free to reach out, which will provide the details later. So let's just carry on with the journey then.
Yeah.
We've still got a bit more time. So, so you've told us now about living in the UK. You've got a daughter. She plays the piano as well.
Yes.
Yes.
She has been learning since age 5.
Right. And yeah. So what brought you to the UK then? So this move then from Taiwan, was the UK your next destination, or did you go elsewhere beforehand?
So the reason why I came to UK to study is actually triggered by another hardship when I was doing my teacher training in a primary school in central Taiwan. So I was trained to become a primary school English teacher. We all had all the trainee teachers have mentor, or a mentor. So my mentor was a year 1 teacher, and she was also the head of year 1. She also has a daughter whose age is probably also age 6 or age 7, something like that. So I felt it's very difficult to work in the primary school when the mentor use physical punishment, which means using cane to hit children. And she also only hit children who are from poor backgrounds, or their parents work in other cities and they were looked after by their grandparents. So I found it's really daunting and completely against my teaching philosophy. This is not what I have believed and learned. Okay, I believe in the UK 50 years ago they may have physical punishment in some schools, but in Taiwan at that time is kind of gray area, especially if you are in the countryside. So I just found that is really unbearable, and having to watch what happened in class, and I couldn't do a lot about it. All I could do is when I was teaching, I will not hit any children, right? I'll just make sure everybody's calm and I'll try my best. So I had an argument with my uncle, who was assistant head in different school. I said, right, this is not right. And then I was told, but they are not your children. Yeah. You just make sure you finish your internship and then get a job as an English teacher. And that really disappointed me. I just said, this is not right. If you think it's not right, I want to get it right. But anyway, I went to, and then at a point, I bought a flight ticket to UK, and I did a two-week backpacking in London. And then I thought it through. I said, I'm going to quit my internship. So I quit my internship. I wanted to study in the UK, either psychology or journalism, to reveal the dark side or the good sides of people, or get to know the core of why people are doing this and that. So in the end, I went back and had a very big family meeting, and they were not happy. There are lots of very hurtful things say to me doing that. Say, like, you are an orphan, do you think you can study abroad? I say I can, because I've been teaching since age 19, and I paid for all my university fees and living expenses covered. I will quit my internship, and then I will continue to teach in different English language schools. So that's what I did. So I spent literally 2 years, save up over 1 million new Taiwan dollars, and then came to UK to study. So I didn't know whether I would live in the UK for a long time. I just wanted to come and study. So I studied psychology of education, so I could know more about the inner side and the psychological side of people. And then in the meantime, I also did a course at SOAS, University of London, teaching Chinese as a foreign language. I only did one for 1 term because of after I've been there every single weekend, I just feel that, okay, the teaching was mainly about how to teach English, which was what I have learned in the past 4 years at university in Taiwan. So so that's how I came to UK, and then in the end I got jobs in different part of UK. So I settled here and got married as well. So that's why. Sorry, it took quite a while.
Yeah, no problem. So I mean, as you said, there's kind of lots of twists and turns in your life and many different stories to share. Now, I don't believe they're all hardship ones. I believe there's some good ones there as well. The fact that you've got a daughter, and that's magical in itself, right? And what you've gone through to actually get to where you are. I mean, many would have given up on that path. So, yeah, I admire you for what you've done. So, in moving to the UK, so just going back to the kind of the school. Like, is that still the school system now, in the way that you punish the kids that parents aren't in town, basically, or the poorer ones, whereas the richer ones are the ones that are forgiven?
I don't think it's more like that now. I think now all the regulations are more in place that physical punishment are actually not supposed to happen. Maybe small number of parents and teachers will work together, use that to make their children's academic performance higher, which I don't believe is the right thing to do. Because I remember when I was in school, I also got hit by my different subject teachers. Not because I misbehaved, it's because I didn't reach my target. So I was in top set, and in secondary school, because in primary school I don't have set. So in secondary school I was in top set. They would say junior high school, so age 12 to 14. So I was not particularly good at math and science when I was in secondary school. So being a top set means that all the subjects target is 90% out of 100. So if I get 60%, I'll get hit 30 times. So if we have 8 exam paper given back to us on that day, then that day, you can imagine if you didn't reach 90%, how many hits you may get.
But who, I mean, is this throughout all the schooling system, the educational system in Taiwan, or is it just certain schools or certain regions?
I think at my time, it's quite common practice, like top sets, they would expect you to get 85 to 90% for all subjects.
So it just baffles me. I mean, I have 3 small children, and they all have different learning abilities. I mean, one could excel like music or mathematics, and then the other one could be very slow at that, but excel at something different. We're not all the same. We have got also learning different capabilities and different times. It doesn't mean that you can't do it. It's just that it's not your time at that moment. I need extra guidance and support. So to be punished, I mean, my kids would come home black and blue from school then, right? Because where they excel in one lesson, maybe they're not so good in another. So they'll go to school to be beaten up, right? If that was the case. I mean, surely you've got to look at, we're failing as educators, and also you can't teach a kid a subject that they've got zero interest in, right? It just does not work, right? And in the grand scheme of life, well, what about emotional intelligences? I mean, the punishment that you get from a kid, what's the psychological damage that's doing?
Yeah, I would say that at the time, because it was very common practice, and I remember. I mean, I remember. I mean, I did really well in maths and science when I was in primary school. I still like to read books or magazines related to science. And now, I mean, I got like a science magazine and etc. Or watch documentaries. So I feel that when I was hit, I feel that at that time, okay, my thought was, you can hit me 100 times, but I still can't get 100%. Okay, so that's why I always bear that in mind when I started my teaching journey, either from age 19 or during the internship, or later on in different institutes in Taiwan, at Russell Group University in the UK, or other schools in the UK. It doesn't matter what school or organization, who I'm teaching. Yeah, I believe everybody has their potential, their abilities. You can't just have one size fits all, and everybody will get 100%, 90%, or 70%. And it can be, you get 90% this time, you get 70% next time. It varies, all sorts of factors, reasons. It can be family tragedy. It can be you got dumped, or it can be you just didn't feel well on the day. So there are all sorts of factors, or maybe you just didn't study enough, but that's life, yeah? So I think that's not that common now, but I think there are a small group of people, they are kind of cooperating together to hope that their children will do better, which I think is really wrong.
Yeah. No, I mean, we could talk about this subject all day, so we need to move on from that, but it just gets me, I'm just amazed. I never knew that happened. But also the fact that you could be punished at school for not having the grades, right? Then when you got home, you could be punished again.
Yes.
Right. So
some families, my ex-neighbors, basically every time I heard that their children got beaten up after school because they didn't get a grade that they should have got, but anyway.
But unbelievable. And then who would administer kind of the punishment? Would it be that teacher of that lesson? I mean, and if they decided that, like you said, like, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to punish the kids, then are you reprimanded from kind of the teachers association or whatever, or the school board, for not fulfilling the obligation that you're supposed to be punishing kids?
No, it's supposed to be not legal, but it was kind of gray area at the time. And then so what my mentor could have done to me was fail my internship by giving me 59%. Okay. Then my 4 year at teachers college or university will be gone. She can just say, if you don't do whatever I say, then I'll fail you. Right.
So then you could have corruption coming into it, in the way that a parent would say, my child is going to pass and here's some money.
I haven't come across this before. Yeah, so I don't know about this part, but I did speak to the head teacher and also the assistant head teacher when I handed in my notice to end the internship. I say, right, you all have seen what happened in that classroom day in, day out, but you did nothing.
So just digressing a bit, what happens in the workplace? I mean, in the workplace, if you're producing something and you made some errors and that whole batch or whatever was wrong, would you be punished in the same way?
What do you mean punishment?
I mean, as in a physical punishment?
No. I think if like for employees, then you probably just have a meeting with your line manager, and then they'll tell you, the expectation, and then what you have done wrong, what you can have done better.
Yeah. Sorry. I'm just thinking that maybe the school advertises like a job vacancy for a punisher, right? Someone.
No,
it just seems ironic, right?
No, the teacher just do it all. They just did it all. So you think how much time wasted on hitting children?
But did it actually work, or did it create psychological problems for the kids?
Well, for me, it didn't work because hitting me doesn't really improve my grades. Yeah, how I'm going to improve my grades. I know what to work on, and then I need to go and work on that. And so I believe we all have our favorite teachers, and then the teacher that we just feel that what.
Yeah. Actually, shouldn't you be hitting the teachers? Because I'm not saying you should hit anybody, but I mean, right, if they're not teaching me properly, then isn't it partially the blame? I mean, just an example. I mean, I've been in classes that I absolutely loved the subject. I couldn't get enough of it, but the teacher was so damn boring, right? I would fall asleep, right? And I'd rather daydream, look out the window, or do something else because the teacher was extremely boring. And then the opposite. I've been in a class, I think, oh no, not this subject. I really don't want that. But the teacher is so great. I mean, flamboyant, extrovert, interactive, fun. And I thought, well, I'm actually learning something here because of the teacher. So we can't say it's all the kids' fault. And we can't say it's all the parents or the teachers. It's a combination of everything.
Yeah.
And then also, I mean, in your particular situation, I mean, losing your parents at such a young age, I mean, I would say like certain people, I mean, if you could exempt them from this, because look at that trauma that you've gone through. But it seemed to be a blanket rule in, oh yeah, they didn't get the grade, they've got to be punished. I just think it's barbaric. But I mean, let's kind of park that now, because that is a topic within itself.
Yes.
So you came to the UK, you fell in love with not someone from Taiwan, was it? Or someone from the UK? From
Scotland.
Sorry?
So my ex-husband is from Scotland.
Oh, from Scotland. Yeah, like me.
Okay.
Right. Yeah, I'm originally from Edinburgh.
Yeah, he was born in Edinburgh.
Ah, right. Did he wear a kilt?
Yes.
Oh, true Scotsman.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Okay. And yeah, how did you meet?
Oh, you may surprise you. We met on Match.com.
Ah,
back to 2007.
yeah, I remember. I remember that. I know lots of people that used that also to meet a partner.
Yes. Right. So because I studied at University of Bristol, and we also have other classmates from different countries.
Yeah.
But at the time, I just thought, okay, I'm just gonna see how it goes. So that's where we met, and then he worked in Bristol as well. So and then we just met up.
Right. So, but it wasn't a match made in heaven.
Well, and I think our marriage had been quite, how to say, quite full of fond memories in the past 12 years. There are some ups and downs, but a lot of ups. Yeah. So if you ask me 1 year ago, how did you manage to get to where you are now, like dealing with the divorce? I wouldn't have a clue because last year, this time, we were very happy. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But a serious incident happened and make the whole butterfly effect.
Yeah, you think the trigger point was your daughter's accident?
That, and then also before that, there was an incident that our neighbor came and damaged our property, and then request money from my ex-husband. At the time was my husband, and then I didn't agree, and then he transferred the money without my consent to the neighbor, and then I had a big argument with him about this. I said, this is so wrong. You shouldn't really give up or give in to the bullies. You need to call the police, report. So that incident is one, and the other one is my daughter's incident is caused by my ex-husband, but it's not intentional. It's just an accident. Yeah. So,
but your daughter, I mean, she's okay now. I mean,
the hand injury was really serious. Basically, it's two nerves completely cut off, and then a blood vein completely burst. So, that require probably 2 years physiotherapy and see whether she could recover well. So that's an unknown. But she can play the piano now, which is good, because I took her to see a couple hand plastic surgeons in London, Hertfordshire, and then they confirmed that she recovered better than expected. So, which is good.
I then ask what the situation was. Right, you're just going to scare me now. So, moving on. You can share that later, but yes. I don't want to go down that path.
Okay, yeah, it's fine. Let's move on. Some whatever.
No. So anyway, let's move on. So tell me a bit about what you're doing now, because you're doing multiple different things, right? So for work-wise, I mean, you mentioned that you went into teaching, which seemed that your parents and relatives, it seemed to be something that kind of natural in the family. Is your brother a teacher as well?
No, my younger brother, he is working in restaurants in Taiwan at the moment. As I say, his personality is very different from mine, and we are like, one is in North Pole, one is in South Pole. I'm very proactive, and then if something require changes, then I would just go and do it. And so I think he feel quite content with what he's doing. I can't, or other people cannot decide for him. Yeah, and he was quite addicted to computer games for over 15 years. I don't know whether he's still playing so much, but last time when I saw him, he still spent a lot of time playing computer games. So, back to my work. At the moment, I run my business, and this is something that I would need to focus on a bit more gradually, because I also need to pay the bill, and then also deal with the divorce and make sure my child's well-being. And that leads to me taking a lot of work from the interpreting company to interpret in court, which also gave me a lot of opportunities of getting to know different lawyers, solicitors, barristers, and some people who have other business. So it's a very good experience for me, and I still want to continue to do it, because it also gives me opportunity to see different aspects of life. And I have seen some justice, I have seen some injustice, I have seen some heartbroken people who regretted or who actually didn't do what they were accused of. Okay, so there's all kind of life lesson every single time I was in court. And the other thing is the exam board work, which I really enjoyed as well, because I got to know hundreds of experienced teachers or teachers who have the specialties in Mandarin teaching, and we formed some good and solid friendships. So during COVID time, we didn't have like the online gathering, and I visit a few of them when the rule relaxed. The other one is the sales job in Oxfordshire. It's basically 0-hour contract. I just took it whenever I can. And the purpose is to have the experience to see the first-hand customer experience. So I get to know a bit of the customer psychology through the job. So that is the current work situation. I also, I'm reaching out some schools, and then hopefully can run some language programs and workshop. There are so many things that I would like to do, but I just need to do it one step at a time, because we only have limited time, and we also need rest and time with ourselves and family.
Exactly. So thank you for sharing that. So you mentioned, prior to the recording, we were talking kind of backstage as it is, with Pete about, I mean, you want to create a website to focus more on your own work, right? So where are you on that? And with that, I mean, would you kind of give up the other stuff and focus solely on that if you got the momentum and you could get the clients for that? Is that something that is kind of your burning desire to do?
Right. So for me, I think this has to be gradually the different, like the weight gonna be placed in different work. So for me, I would still like to have the foot in the interpreting and the exam board side, because both have given me different valuable experiences and life lessons and friendship. It can becomes smaller portion, and when the business grows, so my website is still in a very early stage because I had to spend quite a lot of time to deal with the family matters, and also needed time to reflect, rest, and also write my book as well. So that's all kind of merged together. I just need to gradually decide how much time I'm gonna use for the generating revenue side, because I haven't got the luxury to say, right, I'm not going to do any of the work. I'm just going to purely focus on the business only, because I need to have some kind of income to cover the expenses and other matters. Yeah.
So I would kind of wrap this up in a minute.
Yeah.
So just a few points just before we do that. So tell us a bit more about what you offer, or what you will offer as part of the services. Who is it typically for? And how do you deliver it? Is it like one-to-one? Is it online, offline, in groups, and so on? And so share a bit more about kind of the business, and that'll be the first bit. So to do that first, and then I'll ask the next question.
Sure. Okay. So three things that I would like to gradually develop. So first will be the language program and cultural workshop. So it can be a short course. It can be for the primary school and secondary school students up to GCSE level, Mandarin Chinese, and then cultural workshop. I could offer some cookery experience or other kite making or Chinese calligraphy. My dad used to be a Chinese calligraphy teacher, and then I learned it, and I also won quite a few awards before when I was in Taiwan. And so this is something that I would like to do to start with. And the second one will be the career talk that can provide it to secondary school students and young people, maybe undergraduates, etc. Or people who just finished university, they are not so sure what they want to do. I got friends in different fields, CEOs, managing directors, director of banks, or doctors or lawyers, so all sorts. They could share their experience. And the third one will be guardianship for parents and students who are from different countries, and plus the tour in the UK. So I am working with an international school in China from September to work on their trip to UK about performance in small theatre and in London and in Edinburgh, because it's got Edinburgh Fringe every August. So yes, so these are the actually four things that I would like to gradually establish, but we'll start with the language program and the culture workshop will be the two things I would like to start first. It can be online for.
Well, it's still quite a challenge. I mean, a lot, but I mean, they kind of all blend into each other. I mean, I like what you said about the Chinese calligraphy, right? Yeah, it'd be fascinating to see some of that because I thought Chinese letters do look like that anyway. So, I mean, yeah, how much different would it be? So, but yeah, I mean, if you could share anything like that. So, with your journey, I mean, it's been quite a remarkable journey, and we've only touched on a few of the highlights, like on that journey. I mean, there's way more, likewise with anybody's journey. But for the time that we're given for the show, at least it's a good snapshot, well, more than a snapshot, and an insight into who you are and what you're doing. And yeah, you mentioned also, which people, if I don't remember to say this, people will say, what about the book? Because we met through a joint publisher, because we're creating, as part of previous guests, a collection of 11 stories from previous guests in one book. So we're doing that at the moment. We've been a year into it. So we're getting near the point that we're finishing kind of the final touches before we start to finish the physical book. So that's where we are. But we met in Publishing Mastery platform, which is by Paul Smith Publishing. And so where are you on your book, and what is your book about?
Yeah, so the book's still in the early stage. I only had a few editing sessions with Paul, but I've got a lot of advice and guidance from Paul. So my book is about my life journey and what kind of insights and inspiration that can bring to the readers, and that there are so many inspirational writers and speakers around the world, and I feel that everybody has their own stories to tell, and perhaps by reading my stories, life stories, readers could feel comfort, encouraged, inspired, and maybe that will lead them to make some changes, and hopefully that will make their life better. That is purpose.
Yeah, I love it, because I mean, we do this show and also for the book for three fundamental reasons. I mean, it's to, well, first of all, have your story shared. So that's to inspire people with your journey, to educate, because the people are talking about things that are very educational, whether it's a failure, a trauma, a turning point, or something about their business and what they do. It's educational, and we love to hear that. And the most important, like you said, is to bring hope to others, because we're ordinary, regular people, yet we have a story to be told and a story that we wish to share. And if other people come together, then and they have their stories, then why can't we help one another and make the world a better place for doing that? But because your story, I mean, I've heard, like, you're the 133rd guest. I mean, I've heard some quite harsh stories, and they've been shared. But if you look at it, the essence of being human, right? It's about sharing these stories, and it's about relating, even though we're not physically there, and maybe our upbringing was completely different. We are all connected through a more of the emotional consciousness side of life. And this is kind of what you've explained also on your journey. And I can relate to a certain degree your story and kind of things. And also when you look at your own children, and you definitely don't want them to go to school and being punished. And it makes you also think about many different things, like education in the way that we do teach kids and how antiquated it is. And it needs to change completely, because it's not right. And it's causing so much emotional traumas and stress at school, and that anxiety and everything, that we need to correct that, as well as many other things. So, but anyway, just in wrapping up, so yeah, if you could also do a recording, we can always add that and tag it on another time of you playing the piano and singing, and also share any links. I mean, when do you plan to have your book ready?
Oh, it's not that quick, because I only just started in April this year, so it will at least take about 18 months. I think it's more practical time frame. I think I discussed with Paul before. Yeah,
well, I think, I mean, having this show also kind of warms up people to want to know more about what's going to be in the book.
Yeah.
So otherwise, like as you said, people have some great stories to share, but then there's that kind of that expression, so what? But once you've heard someone and you hear their story, I think, yeah, I think definitely you've got, with both me and Pete, someone that would be interested in reading the book already. So at least you're doing it for a purpose. And I think a lot of the time when we do write books, I found that I'm not actually writing it for anybody. I'm writing it for myself.
Yeah.
It's kind of a self-help book, in the way that you're getting something off your chest and carrying something with you all your life. Sometimes it's good to just get it out there. If anybody reads it, it's a bonus. And if like-minded people read it and they share their story, that's even better. Right. But anyway.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. Yeah. It's a self-discovery and then healing process as well. I think writing.
It is. I mean, just sidetracking a bit. I mean, anyone that is thinking and contemplating writing a book, right? I think it's a magical experience. You learn so much more about yourself, because when you're writing for a purpose, but there's also a structure to writing, and most people don't understand the structure. So having a guide and helping hand with a publisher, editor, and in a community of others that you can ask that are doing the same journey, it's fantastic. I love it.
Yeah, exactly. I find it's like an extraordinary experience, and that will continue to give me some lights and insights for sure. Yeah.
So when you're doing your drafts, because we read each other's drafts, right? So I've just done my 9th revision.
Yes, I saw that. I haven't read it properly yet, but I will.
Right. Yeah, but I keep them all. So from the first one up to now, I mean, Pete is on his 19th revision, and I think, oh goodness, I don't want to go that far. I'm happy with the way it is now, but also based on feedback, helps you fine tune it and tidy it up a bit.
Yes.
I look forward to reading yours, and yeah, I look forward to, like, I mean, I know we're in the same book group, so we can follow each other.
Yes.
And also with this recording, it's going to go out on YouTube and also Spotify, so then other people can hear your story. But I think you're a remarkable person. Based on what you've just shared with us already, I think you are extraordinarily brave as well, in the way that you've been determined to push through no matter what challenges you face in life. I mean, you believe in yourself, and it is nice to see. And you're not alone in the way that you feel, because there's many of us that feel the same, and we push through under extraordinary situations. And this is the connection that that we share as well. It doesn't have to be the same journey, but it's the challenges that we face, that we know there's other people out there that either had it far worse than us, or less, but it doesn't matter to a certain degree. It's just the connection that we're building with each other.
Definitely.
So on that note, have you got any kind of final comments or remarks, or you want to leave us with anything?
I think the final remark that I would like to share with whoever is watching is be yourself and be honest, and always have good intentions. I think these are the three main things that I would like to deliver. I think many people probably have heard this before. However, I found these three remarks will be something that continue to guide me in my life journey.
Wonderful. Well, thank you for sharing. It's been an absolute pleasure to get to know you a bit more. I know you have been on a previous show, so I did get to meet you there. But to hear your story is really quite remarkable. And yeah, I thank you for opening up and sharing that, because it's not something easy. But the fact that you've got a beautiful smile and you're believing in yourself, and yeah, I love the positive outlook that you have on life, because if we always feel positive, even though we have to accept kind of the negative things, but we don't dwell there, because that we want the universe to provide us with what we think, and it's positive. So I wish you great success in everything you do. We will be keeping in touch anyway. And yeah, I encourage you to listen to the next person that comes on the show, because we've all got remarkable stories to share.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely welcome. So I will, prepare this recording, and then I'll send you the links, and then any links that you want to share, I'll add them in the notes as well, so people can reach out. What's the best way to connect with you?
Do you mean via email or LinkedIn?
Yeah.
Do you mean like other ways of? I mean.
Yeah, I know. Typically, I just point people to my LinkedIn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so we'll share all of these links then.
Yeah.
Okay.
I will record the piano piece as sometime today. I can record it, and then I can send recording.
If you do, I can add it in. Right?
Yeah, I'll do that today. Is okay?
Oh, yeah, perfect. Even better.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Then I've got to edit this anyway, so I'll add it in, and then it'll just be seamless. People will just see it. Okay. So on that note, thank you once again for being our 133rd guest. Actually, does that number mean anything to you?
In Mandarin, the more modern time, 1314 will mean something. But 13 in Mandarin, it means the whole life. And I think 3 is a special number in Christianity. But in Mandarin, we have some different numbers, which has quite good meaning. Like 520 means I love you. Yeah, wow. 1314 means one life forever. So it means you may be in love with this person for the rest of your life, or have the friendship for the rest of life.
Yeah. Actually, 133 is quite significant, because if you look at the 1, it's 1, so that's the ultimate, right? Then you got 33, which is very biblical.
Yeah.
Right. Then if you add them together, you've got 7.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's actually quite special when you look at it that way.
Yeah, we can look at it that way though.
Okay. Anyway, as I said, have a great weekend. Yes. And I'll send the links when they're ready. So thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, James.
You're welcome.
All right. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, that was another featured business brought to you by Visibility Impact. If you'd like to be our next featured guest or learn how James Mofat can help you leverage on the art and power of interactive storytelling for your business, reach out and schedule a call now.